If you're a fan of TikTok UK, then you might have come across Ryan Windridge. At first glance, this 35-year-old autistic man looks like your typical content creator, uploading videos about food, trains, aeroplanes, and other simple things he loves on his social media platforms. But the more you search his name, the more you'll realize there's more to this story than his perfectly curated online image, because behind the scenes, Ryan has repeatedly been accused of talking to girls.
Me and Ryan were talking when I was it 14?
14, yeah.
We were talking in 2017, talking sexually, making plans to meet.
Yet what it makes even more bizarre is the fact that when confronted, he tries to defend and justify his actions.
But David Tennant sees someone who's 12 years younger than him, and he don't know if you know who David Tennant is.
I do know David Tennant,
He's
yeah.
no worse than Simple Simon, come on. He's like, could be my dad, and he likes to see women in their early 20s.
So if you're one of the few who've not heard about Ryan's controversy, count yourself lucky, because today I dive deep into the chaos. Ryan's story is the perfect example of when a TikTok creep goes too far, because Ryan Windridge was just another TikToker uploading simple daily activities videos.
Autism with Ryan. Autism with Ryan.
But what viewers didn't realize at the time was that they weren't seeing the full picture, because while Ryan's interest in trucks and trains was well known, people were really shocked when they heard that he had a secret desire. On June 10th, 2024, a 15-year-old autistic girl named Leah, previously known on TikTok as LC Vibes 8, publicly accused Ryan of sending her photos through Snapchat and engaging in conversations. To support her claims, Leah uploaded screenshots and screen recordings of their messages to her TikTok account. But almost immediately, something strange happened. Her posts were repeatedly flagged and suppressed by TikTok's algorithm, not because they were fake, but because they contained material allegedly sent by Ryan. As a result, many people who only saw fragments of the situation began doubting her story. Some assumed she was lying, while others never saw the evidence at all, as it was taken down. But 11 days later, on June 21st, 2024, Ryan finally responded publicly.
I have reported that incident to the police, who are taking my phone to recover the chat logs to prove my innocence. I was chatting to a woman who told me she was 19. It's only afterwards she recorded our conversation and plastered it all over social media. And yeah, that she's saying that she was underage.
Yet as much as Ryan stressed that he didn't condone talking to calling it morally wrong, the timing raised eyebrows. This response came nearly 2 weeks after Leah had already begun posting evidence online. To some viewers, it felt less like a clarification and more like an attempt to reframe the narrative, because Ryan appeared to subtly suggest that Leah was lying about her age, despite the fact that Leah had already publicly verified she was 15 on her TikTok account. On the other hand, Leah's side of the story painted a very different picture. She stated clearly that she never lied about her age and never claimed to be 19. In fact, she provided a screenshot showing her directly telling Ryan that she was 15. Upon closer inspection of the screenshots, it showed that on February 19th, 2024, Ryan replied to a photo of Leah, commented on it, and ended the message by calling her babe. And judging by the dates on the screenshots, their Snapchat conversations had continued for at least 3.5 months. At that point, the discussion online shifted again. This was no longer about rumors, screenshots taken out of context, or internet speculation. It was about two completely opposing versions of the same private conversation. And for those following the allegations, one question became impossible to ignore: who was telling the truth? As a result, Leah responded directly, pushing back against the claims that she was making the situation up. Following the post, some users supported her, but others remained skeptical, arguing that she hadn't shown every single message from the conversations. In response, Leah doubled down, writing that Ryan had no proof she ever lied about her age, because she didn't. She called the claim a weak excuse and said she planned to return after a short break, promising to respond to everyone and continue speaking out until he told the truth. She also explained that some of her earlier comments had spelling mistakes or unclear wording, which led her to delete and repost them. According to Leah, she repeatedly told Ryan she was 15, even correcting herself when messages didn't come out clearly. While this sounded compelling, there was no clear proof showing that Leah ever told Ryan she was 19, and there was also no confirmed timeline establishing exactly when ages were discussed or how they were communicated. Although Leah shared a screenshot where she stated she was 15, it lacked a visible date or timestamp, and there was no screenshot or record of her claiming to be 19. To shed off the doubts, Leah later uploaded additional screenshots showing messages Ryan allegedly sent, saying she felt forced to share more evidence simply to be believed. And as people still processed the seriousness of the situation, nobody wanted to be associated with Ryan, including his own manager James Windridge, who cut ties with him due to the allegations on June 25, 2024. While that can be seen as a strictly professional move, even Simple Simon, who had featured with Ryan in multiple clips and had been friends with him for quite a while, decided to cut ties with him to maintain a good reputation.
Basically, Ryan Windridge has been taken off my podcast because my manager looked into a lot of things and he come to a decision that he didn't think it would be good for me to have him on the pod.
From then on, things got worse for Ryan, because once the internet picked up on the serious allegations, people's perception shifted fast, with Reddit threads and TikTok posts circulating, no longer hinting, but accusing. Yet these vague insults were backed with multiple accusations from different people, accusing Ryan of talking to underage girls.
Yes, Windridge.
Yo,
come on, brother.
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, cushy, bro. Let's go. Hey, you used to message my cousin. Yeah, she's 6.
For this reason, Ryan found himself under intense scrutiny. His fans and haters began rewatching old videos, dissecting moments they'd once ignored, wondering if they'd missed warning signs all along. People began stitching his videos with commentary, questioning his motives and interactions with fans, while YouTube creators made videos with interesting titles. Anyone could tell where this was headed. It was an accusation of predatory behavior, and it was backed up with hard facts, or at least it seemed to be. And for his longtime viewers, it was unexpected. They remembered the train videos, the cheerful cameos, the man who waved at locomotives.
Private company. They're filthy already, aren't they? 67, 27 and 60.
Let's show our appreciation to the Bulldog. Happy National Track Week, Bulldog. Nice daff you're driving.
But the conversation had shifted, and it was all about his private messages, alleged interactions with minors, and a growing number of people claiming Ryan had crossed the lines he shouldn't have. However, when the new wave of accusations hit, Ryan didn't address them directly. Instead, he posted videos brushing it off, painting critics as bullies who were jealous of his success, and trying to destroy his reputation without proof.
There's no need for jealousy. You should be happy for other people and not envious and jealous of other people. I wouldn't be jealous of you if you were being successful. Just get on with life and don't are spread by haters and rumours of belief.
They're hating because you're doing something they want to be doing.
Remember.
He framed the situation as online harassment, saying his haters were just trying to ruin his life, and it worked, because some people believed him. One Reddit user said, "I have looked everywhere online and there is no evidence or charges brought. This is a case of bullying online and you should do more diligence spreading a story like this." Another supported him by saying, "Wild the hate he gets, FS Man has a heart of gold." But most weren't convinced that it was all unnecessary hate being directed to Ryan for his success. Or as one TikTok user said, he's extremely unlikable and was before the allegations. Who wants to be doing what he is, scraping by as a creator and a walking joke with zero respect? And another one backed him by saying, "We don't want to talking to kids though. We hate for a reason, not because he's TikTok famous." To them, the debate wasn't just whether the allegations were true, it was whether people had ignored them for too long. And as more people talked about it, it became the worst thing that can happen to a social media star like Ryan. Because people tend to bounce back from other types of scandals, but not allegations of harassment, especially that of younger individuals. Just like Joe Robe, the TikTok personality with over 5.7 million followers whose career collapsed after allegations of underage boys. And as expected, the situation started taking its toll on Ryan. His videos used to show someone with a cheerful personality, but that mask began to slip. However, to understand how Ryan got here, it's important to look back at where it all began. See, back in 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 lockdowns, Ryan first appeared online as a TikTok creator from Gloucester, England. His content felt genuine, unpolished, and often filmed while cycling.
Day of the life of Ryan Part 3. We left Asda and went down Gloucester Docks on my lovely electric.
But that's not all his audience liked about his content. Ryan's videos had an unscripted charm that stood out in a platform obsessed with trends. He spoke openly about being autistic, frequently positioning himself as someone raising awareness, almost branding himself as a kind of mental health warrior.
Hello guys, today I am gonna teach you and I'm trying to get the words out. struggle with words, dyspraxia person for you. I'm going to educate you.
At the time, he felt harmless. In fact, compared to how the internet views him now, it was a completely different image altogether. By 2023, Ryan had grown to more than 500,000 followers across platforms, and even joined a content collective known as the Hustle House.
Thank you very much. I've cut this a bit better today. There you go. Let's go.
With his now growing fame, Ryan decided to monetize it. He launched Cameo, sold branded merchandise, and leaned further into his online persona. Early on, most people didn't question it because to many, Ryan was just a quirky internet character. And although some thought it was a bit odd, many blamed his autism and moved on, because nothing about his early content screamed controversy. He didn't appear to be chasing clout or manufacturing viral moments like typical influencers. For a while, he was widely liked, even celebrated, for offering wholesome, family-friendly entertainment. People followed him because his videos felt safe and refreshing, and Ryan leaned into that image hard. He positioned himself as someone protecting the UK's railway heritage, using TikTok to spotlight unique locomotives and train traditions. His clips circulated through enthusiast groups and railway communities, steadily growing his audience. But as his following grew larger, things started to shift. Viewers began noticing his content changing, with the train videos slowly fading into the background, replaced by stunts that felt uncomfortable. He constantly ate piping hot food for reactions.
Chicken curry.
And did awkward dances that didn't feel organic. Leaving people wondering whether he was being exploited by his management or he'd lost sight of who he was, opting to sell out for likes and fleeting attention. And ever since Leah's allegations, Ryan became the center of conversation, but not in a good way. But as if Ryan couldn't make another bad decision, in late 2024 he collaborated with an OnlyFans creator named Grace. To be honest, Grace was the last thing Ryan needed when it came to his public image. She was an adult content creator with a strong online presence, and for many people that alone raised eyebrows. So when the two of them started dating, what might have been brushed off before suddenly looked far messier, because Grace had quite a controversial reputation herself. She was known to date vulnerable and controversial TikTok personalities, including Paul Breach and General G, both known for predatory behavior, all in the name of promoting her OnlyFans account. And once she'd gotten the attention she wanted, she would jump right to the next victim. So when people saw her with Ryan, they knew it was only a matter of time before she did him dirty. Or as one Reddit user put it, Grace is using neurodivergent TikTokers to market her OF. Other OF girls like Astrid Wed have done the same thing by hitching their wagon to potentially vulnerable lads with a TikTok following. Once she's exhausted their usefulness and the OF subscriptions stop coming in, they move on to the next one. The sad thing is these lads genuinely believe they are in some sort of relationship with these girls and are heavily affected once they're thrown away. Ryan Windridge is a major creep though, and he was probably chosen specifically for the fact that Grace's usual MO of accusing people of SA will look more credible. What's crazy is that some people didn't buy into their relationship at all, because some believed that Grace was the one in control and that Ryan was being used as a pawn. However, others believed that Ryan was just as calculating and attention-seeking, but hid it behind his autism. To them, he knew full well there was no genuine relationship, but continued playing along because Grace was also driving traffic to his TikTok and kept the engagement alive. But we have to give it to them, they really tried to show everyone that they were together, or at least they tried.
Bloody shocked when I seen those old photos. I was like, ah! All the other men did too. And women.
Unfortunately for Ryan, their love story did not last long, because Grace cheated on him with another TikToker named Bevo. While it was kind of expected, given that their relationship was somewhat transactional, Ryan did not take it lightly.
Even when, I chat to a woman as well, I always ruin it because I overthink and get paranoid. I can't do this, sorry guys, sorry. I'm gonna have to disappear for a bit, sorry,
I don't need anyone, mate. The only person you need in life, guys, is yourself. Remember.
However, Grace never officially confirmed a breakup. To her, she just told Ryan to leave.
No, I never broke up with Ryan. I just kicked him out.
This left the audience wondering who would be Grace's next victim. And while Ryan grieved his loss, this did not give him a break from the controversy around him, because people not only demanded accountability for what he had done to Leah, some openly demanded that he be arrested and removed from the internet entirely. To them, women and children were exposed to harassment and assault every day, and for that reason, no one wanted to give Ryan the opportunity to cause the same damage. This was really bad for Ryan, because any more evidence could put him behind bars, as the community demanded possible criminal action. But while they waited for legal action, this did not stop some of them from calling out Ryan directly in public whenever they met or whenever they found him shooting content.
Good. Do you remember seeing me at CEX?
Which one?
Cheltenham.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, all my friends are coming to say hi to you. Yeah.
Yes, sometimes they posed a real threat to Ryan's safety, but then again, no one appreciates a potential creep being on the loose. And Ryan had a list of victims in his name because as curious people dug deeper into his past, they found out that Ryan had also been talking to yet another girl way before Leah exposed him. And it all began in 2022 when ex-user Mayorossi posted pictures of a conversation she had with Ryan. Back then, May was 18, and the post did not get much attention because Ryan was still not as infamous as he is right now. Regardless, May claimed that she met Ryan on Badoo dating app and they began talking. But to her, the way he spoke made her really uncomfortable. She claimed to have made a video about it, but like Leah's, it was also taken down. Lucky for her, she had some backup photos of the entire conversation, particularly the one that gave her the creeps. Now, at the time of these conversations, May was 18, which is 2 years above the legal age in the UK. But what made it disturbing to people was the age gap. Nobody can judge because technically it wasn't illegal, but by now it's clear that Ryan is really into younger women. But how young can he go? On May 23, 2025, a clip was posted on TikTok where a woman named Jasmine came out and revealed something disturbing about Ryan. She claimed that Ryan began grooming her when she was 14 and that they made plans to meet.
Me and Ryan were talking when I was it 14?
14, yeah.
It was in 2017. And yeah, that's people saying I'm really not in the mood. Yeah, sorry. We were talking in 2017, talking sexually, making plans to meet. He or somebody else put his friend Matthew Weaver on me, who's actually...
Whether or not they did meet is up for question, but the number of cases where Ryan was talking to underage women was piling up and people were fed up. And as much as Ryan tried to clear his name, whether with Leah's case...
But she was 19?
Yeah. But if I knew she was 15, I wouldn't talk to her.
Okay. But she told you she was 19?
Yeah, and then she literally resent the pictures that I sent ages ago and put 15 to make me look like I'm a...
Or other freshly turned 18-year-olds, people still found it weird that he did not mind the age gap.
I would say messaging a 19-year-old's pretty young for you.
Yeah.
You're 33?
Yeah, but I'm seeing... But David Tennant sees someone who's 12 years younger than him, and he don't know if you know who David Tennant...
And why would he? To him, every man wanted a younger woman.
What man doesn't like a younger woman? And what woman? And a lot of women like an older man.
You gotta be careful what you say, Ryan. Come on.
I know, but
you're saying.
Yeah, but they gotta be over.
As much as he tried to say that she has to be above 18, in the eyes of many, the once harmless train spotter was no longer seen as quirky or innocent. He was now viewed as a potential threat, someone people felt needed to be exposed before more damage was done. And as the accusations stacked up, Ryan didn't step back, reflect, or even attempt real damage control. Instead, he doubled down. His uploads became louder, stranger, and increasingly unhinged, as if clinging to relevance mattered more than addressing what people were actually accusing him of. By 2025, Ryan's content had taken a sharp turn as his videos shifted heavily towards shock value, centering around wearing women's clothing on TikTok.
TikTok shop with Ryan. We have a woman's lingerie. I look like a bloody plonker wearing it. It does not suit me one bit. I look like a bloody pillock in it, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to promote things.
It seemed harmless at first, but the clothes started to get more intimate, and it stopped feeling family-friendly, because who on earth reacts to accusations of harassment and predatory behavior by doubling down on the weirdness? Now, Ryan knew all of the backlash was happening, but he'd simply brush it off or play the victim, until the community decided to take matters into their own hands. Fans used online petitions demanding the removal of Ryan's content from TikTok and Cameo. The petition gained hundreds of signatures quickly, and comments grew more pointed. People were talking about it everywhere. One person wrote, "I do not want my young son accidentally scrolling onto his content. It's not appropriate. If a 34-year-old man thinks it's acceptable to prance around in women's underwear for younger people to see, then he needs to come off TikTok." He's also standing on motorway bridges, distracting traffic, getting them to beep their horn, as well as putting videos of him driving on fast roads with just one hand on the wheel. He needs to come off of TikTok and receive the help he obviously needs. While another expressed their fear for their children, saying, "Ryan Windridge continues to use autism as an excuse in order to act towards girls and vulnerable people." Hopefully by showcasing that he's not a role model towards those with disabilities, he can be truly stopped. The outrage was impossible to ignore. His every move triggered anger, and the whispers turned into the demands. The internet wanted him to be silenced before his reckless behaviors scarred someone for good. On the platform side, TikTok and Cameo were forced to deal with the mounting pressure. But unlike these two platforms, Facebook and many dating sites actually banned Ryan.
Unfortunately, I've been banned off Bumble and Badoo for no apparent reason. I've permanently lost my Facebook account and I've done nothing wrong. How do I please contact Facebook? Because it won't even let me make a new account, and not funny, like.
With time, Ryan's content was no longer seen as feel good. It was an example of how unsafe the internet can be, and people wanted to see him punished, not just deplatformed. They wanted to see him excluded from public and social places.
Yeah, he's this, he's that. Oh, ring, 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 ring. Oh, it's a funny joke. I've not got nothing going on in my life. Hello? Oh, guess what? Oh, let's email this place. Oh, guess what? Don't let him come here. He's this, he's that.
He was being attacked from every corner, and overnight, he wasn't known as the Gloucester train spotter anymore. Instead, he began content for commentary channels on YouTube. As all this happened, the TikTok and Reddit communities no longer debated the truth of the allegations. They had reached consensus. Whether platforms had formally acted or not, the court of public opinion had delivered its verdict, and for Ryan, social media was no longer a friendly place. Even if he were to change his ways, it would take years for people to forget what he's been doing all that time. Yet, it got even worse for Ryan. Other creators who had once featured him in duets or gone live with him quietly cut ties because it simply wasn't worth the risk. And no matter how hard Ryan tried to keep growing his social media presence, the door was closing everywhere. No one wanted to be associated with him anymore, as he had become a liability. If the internet could turn on him this fast, what was stopping it from doing the same to anyone standing too close? The opportunities dried up too. City authorities and truck-related pages that had previously promoted his content began distancing themselves. On top of that, no brand, no page, no official account wanted to be involved. Still, Ryan kept posting. The videos grew stranger, filled with claims of innocence and accusations that haters were fabricating lies to destroy him.
Right, before you say it, I know I'm looking at my other phone, but this crap has gone on long enough. Like, I am not attracted to literally all these other content creators and haters are literally trying to destroy my life, making it.
But every upload only made things worse. Each video felt like another layer of denial, another reason for viewers to push back harder, because his ability to control the narrative was gone, and even the autism defense that once earned sympathy was wearing thin. In the public eye, Ryan Windridge was no longer a harmless train enthusiast. He was now seen as extremely off-putting, as well as giving real creep vibes. Someone who wore women's clothing online, behaved strangely, and messaged minors. But the conversation didn't stop with Ryan. People started asking uncomfortable questions about the platform that allowed him to grow in the first place. As a result, Ryan's downfall became a mirror reflecting TikTok's larger problems. Discussions spread across Reddit and comment sections, with parents warning one another about the algorithm. To them, if someone with this many accusations could still build a massive following, what did that say about moderation? This wasn't a rhetorical debate, because to many users, Ryan represented a failure of platform oversight. A creator accused repeatedly of messaging underage fans, still active on Cameo, still uploading content, still being recommended to viewers. For this reason, critics argued TikTok prioritized engagement over safety, meaning that if enough people clicked, watched, and shared, the algorithm kept pushing his videos regardless of the risks. But the harsh truth hit hard. See, creeps on TikTok don't start and end with Ryan Windridge. If anything, he was just one of many, like Robert Moores and Gary Shields, who hadn't been exposed yet, and making an example of him became symbolic, a reminder of how unforgiving the internet can be once